Next on Meet the Farmer TV, the Charlottesville City Market 2010. Meet the Farmer TV is made possible by Planet Earth Diversified, Melly Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. Culpeper's Channel 21, helping to preserve the agricultural history of Virginia, and In the Kitchen magazine, serving the community and everyone who loves good food. From arugula to zucchini at the White House,
Save the family farm.
In the kitchen.
In the end, the bill passed.
It's about preserving some semblance of the family farm.
And for locally grown food.
It's about market access.
Plants don't have personalities. I got one.
I call it the new American agriculture, and our whole agriculture education system is going to change.
We have a great solution to some of these crises that we're now facing.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching
Meet the Farmer TV. Today we'll talk to Stephanie about new plans at the Charlottesville City Market. We'll also talk to Market Central, Kathy Kilday and Cecile Gorham. We'll also find out about new SNAP benefits, how people with SNAP benefits can use tokens here at the market.
I'm Stephanie Anderegg-Malloy, the Charlottesville City Market Manager, and you're watching Meet the Farmer TV. What's new with the City Market? We've closed First Street this year. We've added about 16 new vendors. That's also being used for the nonprofit area, which used to be crammed into in front of the building. So the nonprofits have a lot more space, and the vendors, we have some new vendors, we have some old vendors that have been coming to the market as non-reserve vendors for years, so they actually have a space now. We have quite a few entertainers for the kids. We have a juggler that has been coming. Hey, we have Black Bart, and my daughter calls him the talking bear. We also, of course, have George, the balloon man, who does lots of balloons and very popular with the children. The tacos have found a permanent home here, and they are at the bottom of the hill. And so it's really been a great season already, and this is only our third Saturday. So we started off with record crowds and sales on the first day, which was really exciting. We have, which is one reason we've started a third market at Penn Park on Tuesday afternoons. We're going to have pretty much a small city market. This one's going to be different in the sense that it's going to have some crafts and things like that, where Farmers in the Park, which is on Wednesdays, it's only food and farmers. So that will start May 4th at Penn Park, right in front of the playground. Penn Park is right down from the Catholic school. They actually that's the entrance that you have to use to get to the Catholic school. It's also right across from the Waldorf school. Right there's a stoplight. Right after the curvy part of Rio Road, there's a stoplight. You turn right down there, and you just keep going, and you'll find us. You'll see us. If you see the tennis courts, you're almost there. It's called the Market at Penn Park. And then, of course, we have Farmers in the Park, which is going to be, again, on Wednesdays. The thing is, we're starting early this year. We're starting May 5th at Mead Park, where the Honesty Aquatic Center is. So that's at 3 to 7 as well. You can actually ride the bus to Farmers in the Park at Mead Park, as well as the downtown mall at City Market.
Families eat really well.
That's
here.
right.
There's plenty of good stuff, fresh apples, fruit, baked goods, all the
Flour?
veggies, corn and wheat, oil, everything you need to feed your family.
We've got a few new vendors. We have a fresh pasta vendor and they actually come from Richmond area. And we have Ted's Last Stand, who has been a long-standing Farmers in the Park vendor, and they're out of Louisa. They have beautiful cut flowers, and they have some produce. They are also set up on this street, as well as Broadhead Farm. And it's just a small family that started at Farmers in the Park and have moved on to come to the city market. Let me think. Inedible Jewelry, who has been a non-reserved vendor at the city market for, I don't know, 5 years. So she's been bouncing around from space to space, not having a true home for 5 years. And so now she has a home on the street, as well as Andres Zapata, who moved here with his lovely wife. He is from Colombia. He makes beautiful jewelry, and he's got a home now on the street, as well as Churchill Pottery, Mark Churchill. He has a home down there, and let's see, Christine Chrysler of Yo Wear. She makes beautiful little girls' dresses and little boys' t-shirts, and she's also down there, as well as Ninelle Foss, who does the I've forgotten what they're called, wonderful Bolivian little roll. So she's down there on the street, as well as DJ and Corin Lee, who have health bars and granola, and so they're also down there. They haven't started yet, but next week we have a new baker who is specializing in gluten-free. And so they are going to start next week. They call themselves Good For You. So I'm pretty excited about that, because I feel like there's more and more people that actually need the gluten-free baked goods, and you know, I don't think it always tastes that good. So when I find someone that has actually perfected, you know, making gluten-free things that taste good, I love to have them. I also have two vendors that we didn't really have enough room on our street to add these two girls, and one of them has been there forever. On the corner of our building, kind of where I set up, we've had Simply Cheddar for many years. She's just sat up right in the little corner next to the nonprofits, and so that's her permanent home now. But we're just leaving her there. And also we have Kamiko Berryman, who makes wonderful little Asian breads, and so she's setting up right next to Linda Weaver of Simply Cheddar. So I think we have a bunch of great new vendors. We also have non-reserve vendors that you'll see each week in different spaces. If people want to be vendors, and of course I get this all the time, we're to the point where we're not taking a lot of new vendors because we have so many. But I do allow non-reserve vendors, and what that means is basically you call and leave a message on the Saturday before you want to come, and just say, hi, hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'd like a space for next weekend. And and I get them in that way. I don't always get you in, but if you're interested in being a non-reserve vendor, the best thing to do is to go to charlottesvillecity.com or the charlottesville.org Recreation City Market to get that information. So it's time to step away from your TV, get off your computer, and come down to one of our markets and get fresh food that's good for you.
My name is Richard Bean. I'm from Double H Farm in Nelson County, and we're filming this for Meet the Farmer TV. Double H Farm's focus is relatively the same. We're pork producers, egg producers, and vegetable producers. The only thing that's really changing is we're expanding all the different enterprises. We have more hens this year, we have more pigs this year, we have a few more acres of vegetables. A little more sophisticated, we're doing a better job, producing more, and just trying to fill this local gap for food. The market is phenomenal. There's not enough of it. And so we're trying to fill it. One of the reasons why we got a gap is we have so few farmers. Most of the farmers are gone. I mean, either they're retired or we're not forced out of business. All that's left is the corporate farms, which are not around here to speak of, and it's not good food to begin with. We need to encourage more and more people to farm and the local movement has been by far much more exciting than the organic movement, which I've been a part of for 30 years. But in reality, the local movement is really driving people because it makes so much sense. Buy local, support local. The whole environment, the whole economy, everything gets better because of that. And I'm so happy to be part of it. It's just incredible. Look at this market. This is like the middle of May and June, and we got wall-to-wall people. If you can't sell food here, you can't sell food. Good food, raised properly, is good for our bodies. We are what we eat. We're an obese nation because we're eating way too much processed foods, fat foods, salty foods, processed foods. Here we have as close to the garden, as close to the animals, close as nature as possible. And that the least processed, the better the food.
We're Market Central in Charlottesville, Virginia, and you're watching Meet the Farmer TV.
Well, we're a nonprofit organization. We're formed as sort of a friends of the market to help support and promote the market and eventually to help find it a permanent home. We're made up of vendor members, community members, who have an interest and a passion about this market and want to see it prosper and want to see the community really relate to it very well.
In addition to the things that Kathy just mentioned, we have a farm tour. We're coming up on our second annual. It takes place on Labor Day, and it started out with about, 6 farms participating?
6 farms last year.
And so far we already have 14 signed up to participate this year. And then this year for our annual meeting, Kathy has designed a Connect the Dots food forum that will be taking place on June 5th, one of our market Saturdays, and it will take place in the new side street that the market is using this year. And so Market Central sponsors a lot of events so that patrons and vendors can participate in the things that we're trying to do to help make the farmers market as good as it can be.
It's an event that we're bringing in different exhibitors to show how, besides supporting the farmers market, people in the community can make another step towards supporting local foods. And there are lots of other organizations and businesses in town that may not be represented at the market, but there are ways that consumers can take either a little baby step toward supporting local foods or their final step in the continuum to help do that. So we'll have exhibitors on hand, we'll have some gardening displays, the local chicken, poultry growers, and a couple of community gardens will be represented, cooking demonstrations. Should be a fun day.
And is the dots part is something that you found that's it's a designed.
We'll also have a dot survey that day where we're asking customers to participate by. We'll give them little colored dots when they come in the market, and they'll find placards throughout the market with questions. They can put their dot where it makes the most sense for their answer. So the whole theme of we're asking people to wear polka dots that day. And anything we can do to connect the dots, but it's June 5th.
For a number of years, there's been some talk about the actual location of the city market here in Charlottesville. And when it originally moved to this site, it was supposed to be a temporary site. And that was, how many, 12 or 16 years ago. So there's, there are definitely some limitations to our current site. So what we're interested in doing is trying to improve the current site that we have, think about what is good for any market, no matter where it is, but then find a permanent home for the market, whether it be here or some other site in the city. We're trying to help the city itself evaluate different sites and come up with a new permanent home or current permanent home for the city market. We do have a survey that we're putting out there and asking for vendors, just market goers, and anyone who's just sort of interested in the market to give their feedback on their experiences here. What's good about it, what's poor about it, suggestions that they could make to improving the market. And so you can go to our website, which is www.marketcentralonline.org. We're a membership organization, and if people want to become a member and support the things that we're doing, they can become a member. There's an online link to the website. They can do it via PayPal on our website, or we're here at the market every Saturday morning next to the market manager's tent. We can take their membership application, we can talk to them about their concerns.
We can hand out newsletters. Our newsletter comes out several times each season. But there's lots of ways that people can get involved with the effort and get their voice heard and what they think is important about our market.
We love to have volunteer help. Kathy and I are here at the market every Saturday. We have a table for Market Central, and we would always love to have people help us do that, help us get out information.
I would also suggest that if you're interested, I think we're an interesting, just the actual makeup of how the market runs. It's run by the city. The vendors are private, and we're an organization that's sort of the link between those two entities. So I kind of, when I explain it to people, sort of liken it to as a union of sorts, but it's not, I wouldn't push that agenda so much, but it's sort of to help all those folks that are interested in the market get a voice, a central voice that we can talk to the city and interact with them. So if you're looking to get involved, I know the city itself is, the market's so popular that they're sort of overwhelmed with just running it. So I would say that our ability to offer volunteers to the city would be a great thing if people are interested. In helping volunteer, help the city actually run the market.
And specifically, we have some volunteer needs for the Dots Day if people are interested in working that event or doing some behind-the-scenes work. But for the farm tour, we will have volunteers at all of the participating farms. So if someone would like to be a volunteer greeter at one of those farms, we'd be happy to have their help and helping us pull that event off. The farm tour happens on Labor Day, September 6th, and it will be an annual event. Like I said, we are still firming up the number of farms that will be participating this year, but so far it looks to be about 15 to 20. They are all over the area. We don't expect people will make every single farm on that visit, but if they can purchase a car pass and get a carload of people and go to as many farms as they can in a day, or just the ones that interest them. There might just be one that they want to go to.
Oh, just help with parking, managing people. There might be a few rules that each farm might have that they want people to observe, maybe not want. For instance, I helped at one of the farms last year, and they had a dog that was a working dog, and they didn't want the visitors to go and pet their dog and treat it more like it was a pet. So they asked that these people not do that with their dogs. So that was something particular for that farm. So it's really very easy. It's just a way to help things go more smoothly.
They should enjoy being outside and on a farm, and if they have an interest in seeing how a farm operates and what they do, it's a great opportunity for them to kind of get some behind the scenes work, make some good contacts.
I would say that folks wanting to volunteer, if they're interested in I don't know, you did it pretty well, the skills that they would need, but essentially just helping out with parking, helping manage people, and just sort of keep the event running smoothly. So having an idea of what the total event should be like, and then just helping it flow that way.
I was a vendor myself for 20 years at the farmers market. I sold plants and cut flowers, and I met Kathy's parents. They were vendors at the farmers market. They sold fruit, and then I eventually met Kathy, and it's just a fabulous way to get your food. You get it from the people who grow it, you meet the people that grow it, and you share their enthusiasm for why they even grew it, and you're just happy to buy it from them, and you're happy to see what people grow. And of course there are the arts here too, and you get to meet people who have a passion for their arts.
I just feel like it's an important part of our community. If we're not careful with cultivating it and taking care of it and developing a permanency for it, because of the situation that this market operates on a lot that's for sale, we have a tenuous relationship with it. And until somebody establishes a degree of permanency for it, it worries me that someday we're going to find that we don't have it. And so we'd like to be a little more proactive in trying to develop the permanency for this market.
Some of the values of the market are really have to do with community, and I think that both Kathy and Cecile touched on that, and I would say that really is the sort of underlying force that drives the market. It's our community market. It's a place for the community to come together, whether that be farmers coming to sell their goods, or craft makers, or just citizens coming to meet one another. I think that's really what sort of drives it and makes everyone feel good about the market. Is that it's sort of the heartbeat of our market. I mean, of our city. And there's been competition, design competitions to look at how the market could be in the future. And I think in all the entries, that's really, everyone sort of got that's the heartbeat of our city really starts here, I think.
In addition to the DOT survey, we're in the middle of doing an online survey now of vendors and customers' perceptions and needs for this market location, and also kind of wish listing for what they'd like to see in a permanent home. When we do the DOT survey in June, we'll have some follow-up questions for that, but when our website should have a digest of our current survey after those results are available, and probably at the end of April it should be up. But people can kind of get a look at how the rest of the community feels about their market and about the aspects that they like and that they don't like.
The survey was sort of prompted by this group's work with Architecture Week, which is a local, it's the local chapter of the AIA, American Institute of Architects, which is coming up in 2 weeks, which I'm a part of. And so we reached out to Market Central, and so the thought was we're going to have a design workshop on the 23rd, Saturday the 23rd. And so the survey was initiated to sort of get some initial feedback and some answers and thoughts from the community to inform the designers that are going to look at the market and try to improve what we have, and come up with suggestions and ideas for that.
One of the new features that we'll be having at the market this year is the ability to use your SNAP cards at the market. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and it's a revamped version of the former food stamp program. And by having it at the farmers market, it allows people who use food stamps to be able to have access to what we consider the best food in town, local food and sustainably grown food. And the reason we'll be able to have it at the farmers markets is now because of wireless technology, which has, we were not able to have it before because you always needed electricity to process the cards. It's very simple now. People have what looks like a credit card, and their SNAP account is on their own card, and they will come to the market and swipe their card on the machine, and we will be using tokens, wooden nickels essentially, with our farmers market logo on there, and they will be able to get the amount that they want to purchase in food and go to the participating vendors, because there are restrictions on what kind of food you can buy with your food stamps.
Now let's find out about Golden Green Flowers by Eileen.
I've been involved in, was part of Market Central from the time we started. It took us a while to kind of get organized, and I'm on the board. I'm the treasurer, and it's not too big a job because we don't have very much money. So we're hoping that will change, because we hope eventually to get some funding so that we can help establish a permanent place for the city market. That's our core goal. Well, it's just a way for us all to get our ideas together about where we might want to have this new city market and a city permanent place, and ideas to work together to influence the people who can make it possible, work with the city council, and perhaps work with some granting agencies, and there's more power when you work together. So we like to do that. We also, in addition to trying to find a place for the city market, we try and coordinate organizations in town with similar interests, the local food people, and try and do educational activities with farm tours farm tours are what we did last year, but we're very open to all kinds of educational activities to help the community. It's important to have a permanent location for the city market, for one thing, so that we know where we're going, so the customers know where to come every year, so it becomes a physical part of the community. And of course, if we had a permanent place, We could extend the season. We might be able to run all year or for large parts of the year.
If it's raining?
Oh, if it's raining, of course. Or snowing, that has happened. We've had snow during the city market. We certainly have had plenty of rain. But, you know, the other thing is we spend so much time saying we've got to have a permanent place, where should we have it, and etc. We've been talking about it for 30 years. So if we could just get it settled, then it would be done and we wouldn't have to go through this every year.
Now let's talk to Gail Hobbs-Page. She used to be a chef here at one of the local restaurants, Hamilton's. She now has Caramont Farms and makes her own goat cheese. Let's find out about her experience as a new vendor to the Charlottesville market.
This is our first year at the Charlottesville City Market. We're thrilled to be here. We are sharing a space with vintage Virginia apples and of course Laura Dollard, who is pretty much a legendary figure at the City Market. We are thrilled to be bringing new cheeses that currently aren't available in Charlottesville venues. We felt that would be a chance to keep it fresh and to also showcase some of the new stuff that we've got coming off the farm this year. We've really enjoyed meeting new faces and new people in Charlottesville, and so far so good. We're always learning at Caramont Farm, and through the City Market customers we've been learning a lot about the nutritional pluses that goat cheese can add. One about fatty acid chains that actually lower cholesterol. So we've had some goat cheeses enjoyed some pretty good press lately regarding that. It's lower in fat, of course, than brie, but most things are. It also has a lot of vitamin A and D. Our cheeses are pasteurized. And you know, there's a bit of controversy about that, but it's nice to know that they are.
Well, there you have it, another Meet the Farmer TV here at the Charlottesville City Market. Thank you for watching Meet the Farmer TV, and make sure you come visit the market and support all the hardworking vendors here. And join us next week for a tribute to John Coles, a longtime vendor here at the market, known as the Goat Cheese Guy, and also a pioneer for independent farm sales direct to the consumer.
There's no doubt in my mind that without John and the other people in VICFA, we would have lost the right to buy direct from farmers by now in this state, and that would be a huge loss to us and our people.
John and Christine both, more than anyone, fought the small fights. They educated on a one-to-one level. Went to his memorial service on Tuesday, and something I didn't know about him was that he was very active in the Virginia Dairy Goat Association. Always an advocate for the animals, always looking out for rules and regulations that could be burdensome to us as producers and as farmers.
John really was my hero, friend, a great patriot, very close to him, a man that really stood behind whatever he said he was going to do. A great man.
Thanks for joining us for another Meet the Farmer TV. And please let each of our underwriters know you appreciate their support bringing you Meet the Farmer TV. Check out their website and tell them personally you appreciate their support underwriting Meet the Farmer TV. Meet the Farmer TV is made possible by Planet Earth Diversified, Melly Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. Culpeper's Channel 21, helping to preserve the agricultural history of Virginia, and In the Kitchen magazine, serving the community and everyone who loves good food.